Hello, welcome to another live stream. My name is Shane Olson, and today we're going to be sculpting this amazing drawing here by Muhammad_art. That's his YouTube channel. Muhammad. So awesome design. Love the shapes. I can't wait to dive into this one. So welcome. Let's see here. Okay, 1 second. Sorry about that. Let's see. I'm gonna scale this up. I think I'm gonna start with the body this time with the blockout. Hey, you guys. Hey, Neil. Hey, Neil. What's up, Alan? Welcome. Okay, just because the shapes are so fun, let's see. I'm completely upside down. Where did I go? Let me let this head catch up here. I don't know. What did I do? There we go. That I messed this head up. It was like, I don't know which way you're facing. It's still kind of messed up. It's saying that this is the front. I'm not 3/4. What is going on here? I don't know what's happening. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm just going to show my ruler. There we go. That's the front. Will it snap to the front? I don't know. That's really wonky. You know what? I think I'm going to load in a new thing just so we know that it's good. Because I loaded this from 2022 and it's not good. So let's go to this one. Okay, that's better. There we go. Now he's facing forward. What the heck was going on? I don't know. That is funny though. Okay, here we go. For reals this time. How is everybody doing this lovely day? It is storming outside for me. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna use the appendage brush to make her legs. Just instead of having them in 2 pieces, I'm just gonna do one large shape for the whole leg. I don't typically do that, but I think in this case it makes sense. All 4 of my goblins released for Raw this week, I believe. I want to show those off. Hold on. Let's see here. I think they're Patreon. There we go. Yeah, check this out. So these 4 green goblins right here are the ones I sculpted for Raw. You can just go over to Ronin Arts on Patreon, and it's like a monthly membership, and you get STL files. It comes with pinups, like 1 pinup every month, and then miniatures like this every month. So yeah, pretty fun. You can see there's some larger images of them. There you go. These were a lot of fun. If I can zoom in on them or not. There you go. So there's like this monk guy and this samurai guy. This is my favorite. It's like a dynamite girl. You're a dynamite girl. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Fun pose, fun face. And then this ninja goblin. She turned out pretty good. I like the weapon. It's like this sharp, cool ninja weapon. Anyway. Hey, Lord, tell him it's going good, thanks. Okay, so I think I'm just going to block out the pants instead of the leg underneath. I'm just going to block out our pants. Maybe. Ninja One goes out, thanks. Okay, so let's go. Pull this down. Her legs aren't that long. Hold on a second. Let's kind of go. I just want to make them flat. Let's use this clip curve brush. And you'll notice I'm working on updating my user interface. This is what I was talking about last week. I have these kind of paired brushes. They're not all paired, but and then when working on that that stuff for Raw, I worked with Hector Moran a lot, and he showed me some tips and tricks that he uses for his stuff. And one of those is using the /2 brush a lot. So I added that to my user interface because I really love that workflow. And then I also added Smooth Stronger and Smooth Directional. Smooth Directional is really fun because you can smooth down like a hair stroke or a cloth curve or something like that, and it won't damage the curve. It will just smooth it out, which is nice. Okay. And then I also added clay polish in here. Grow to poly groups, visible to outer ring, grow and shrink. This is all visibility stuff, as well as masking stuff. This topological stuff is still there. This is topological masking. And then I moved the symmetry stuff down here because I wanted to use posable symmetry. That was another trick that I learned from Hector, and put that down here. And then I just kind of scooted the dynamic subdivisions over a little bit, which gives me more space over here. That way, if the user interface collapses down on a laptop or something with not as much real estate, you still have the space to use for that stuff. So anyway, hello, welcome. Okay, so I kind of want to bring this in and curl it out. Then she's got these little shoes. And then I think I'm just going to take the top of this and pull it up and make it her rib cage. I think that would work. It kind of goes up, and then I'll add another piece. I'll show you what I'm talking about later here. Okay, and then from the front, to come forward. Bring this forward and then bring this backwards. Kind of create the rear here. This is the beauty of doing it in blockouts, is you can just kind of mold it and move it. Yeah, I'm working on updating a bunch of stuff, my website, my courses, all the goods. Man, my throat clearing. Excuse me 1 second. Okay. I don't know why. Needing to clear my throat so much today. looks like she's kind of leaning back a little bit. I'm trying to get that flow. Flow happening throughout this whole thing. They're such fun shapes. Make it more kind of a pear shape there. Okay, let's get those little feet in there. Those little feet are kind of fun. Should probably save it. I'm calling her green suit girl. Oh, one. And the reason why is because the original, this is what, this is the original reference. Come on. This. So she's got this like one-piece green suit on, which is great. I love the shapes of her face, and this hair is going to be crazy. So, yeah, we'll just park that in the corner there. We can pull it out again. Original concept artist, Mahad, I think you say it, Mahad Art. Okay. I love Mahad's concepts. They're so good. He's got several of them. He just kind of does these little exercises daily. Okay, so I want to go ahead and clip the bottom off here. I also added H-polish brush. I use that all the time because scrape only really works at higher resolutions, where H-polish works all the time. Okay. Just gonna flatten this down. Little tiny feet. The tinier the better. I'm going to take the interior, or the insides of the pants, and I'll just kind of push them up into a sort of a funnel. Because all the characters I make these days are meant for 3D printing, not necessarily games or anything like that. So, yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. All right, let's shape these feet so they're not just boring feet. I'm going to grab this Move Infinite. Also, got a shout out and give Neil Whitehall a happy birthday. It's his birthday today. Thanks, Neil. Thanks for all you do. Happy birthday. And he's spending it here with us. What are you doing? Go eat some ice cream, brother. I'm just shaping these more like shoes. Maybe little heels. Little heels are funny. Okay. Okay. For these legs, use inflate. Just gonna bring it together. There we go. Get that roundness happening. I love these shapes so much. They make me laugh. And I love how huge the collar is. It's ginormous. Okay, so for the, I do want to give her an upper body blockout shape, but she's starting to get a little stretchy. So we're going to run the old Z-remesher. I think I'm going to pull the shoes out though. Split hidden into a different subtool. We'll go ahead and apply the dynamic subdivisions and then delete lower just to give the Z-remesher something more to follow. I think before I hit Z-remesher though, I'm going to insert another sphere. Hey, what's up, Scott? Glad you could make it. Scott's been helping me out with my website a ton. I'm excited to share it with everybody. It's been a while since I updated that website. Okay, so, and this is much lower density. So what I'm going to do is hide everything. I think I can hit Control D, yeah, and subdivide it once, maybe twice, and then hit it with the old smooth. That will get us to the same density. I'm gonna redo this with Z-remesher at a much lower density, but we'll work with this for now. Oops, just so we can get it shaped out the way we want. The reason I'm doing a second shape, mainly, I could probably do it with the red shape, but mainly is to get it to change direction like this. So this will be the back up to her neck, and then kind of a flat section for her her upper chest right here. And then from the sides, you can see how it kind of comes up to here and then changes direction up through the back like this. So I just need to be super careful and bring it out to meet her arms about here. And then that front. Yeah, I want it to be skinniest up top and then just kind of like a pear, right? Kind of like okay, I feel like this is still too wide, but I like the shape that's happening with it. So we're just going to scale it in. You'll see as I scale it in, this change of direction right here goes higher. So I'm going to have to bring in the lower body more as I scale that in as well. So bring that in, then invert the mask, and then bring this in to lower it back down. And then I want this to kind of be a bit heavier here. I want it to be shaped like a pear, but also go in at the small of her back, kind of right there. Okay. Very funny. All right. Love it. So what are you guys working on this week? What's going on? Okay, got to clear my throat again. 1 second. Okay. I will spare you having to listen to me clear my throat. Okay, with these arms, even though they have a kind of a green short sleeve on there, I'm going to make these one shape as well. No, yes. Kind of, I don't want to clear down in an A pose, somewhere in here, I think. Let's save it, just in case. And I really want to taper these down to the wrists, but very, very small, kind of like the ankles look really small, which exaggerates the heaviness of the body. Okay. Always drag your shapes into each other further than you think they should be. That's my tip of the day. This brush that insert new meshes is the Insert IMM. That's my brush that I've made. It's my custom insert multi-mesh. ZBrush ships with some of them. Like if you, these two right here, these are insert multi-mesh primitive brushes. Those are, those ship with ZBrush. I have my own that I built. I built these in Maya a long time ago. I think 10 years ago. And so they're all quads. And these first four are different resolutions. And then these are some cubes that are pre-creased in a cylinder that has quad caps that is pre-creased with no loops down the length of it, so you can do triangles and stuff, or cones, I guess. And then the appendage brush is like a elongated sphere that tapers. So yeah, I give those away for free, but I'm in the middle of I'm in a weird place right now because my current website is under construction. So you can't get them at the moment, but you will be able to, I would say, next week. My newest updated ones and this new user interface. I'm working on it right now. This is my latest user interface, and it comes with this custom menu as well. So I'm updating that right now, and then I will have it available for download as soon as next week, I think. Okay. I think I like that. And then we'll put our just little hands on there. But I'm going to push this up a little bit. Give it some interesting shape. Oops, why is it flipping out? There we go. Okay. Again, insert multi-mesh brush. We'll grab the sphere, stick it on there for her hand. I need to turn on local, turn off dynamic. I like to face palms down typically. And then just kind of drop the wrist just slightly. And then we can shape that palm. Whoops. I thought I was on the move brush. And then just shape that palm. Get rid of the volume there. I kind of like to make my palms into like a paddle. Looks like a paddle, but it's heavier on the front than the back. The back, I kind of tend to like to just keep it straight in line with the back of the arm. So it just kind of continues. Straight in like this. And recently I've been just making the thumb as part of the palm because it tends to just be easier just to pull it out. Because then I can get the volumes and transitions and everything that I want. Like so, let's see. So yeah, I'll just kind of pull the thumb meat out right here. I'm going to give myself a little bit more density. I'll just hide this and just subdivide it. And then just kind of smooth it down. And then just pull this. I want to keep it round and kind of fat, meaty right here. This is like that thumb bulge, that whole meat part right there. And then you can just kind of pull it out like this, like a mitten. Okay, and this is where it starts to get tricky and break down and stretch. So I'm probably going to have to split this off and ZRemesh it as I pull it. Then I start to turn it back on itself right here. That's probably too much. Drop it down. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to split this off. And then just quickly ZRemesh it, same. And I'll just smooth it out and do it again. Same. There we go. And then continue. So basically you have the two knuckles, right? So you pull it out straight to the first knuckle like this. And then to the second. Here, I gotta look at my own hand here for a second. There we go. Gotta pull it out further. And the second knuckle is here. And then it just kind of kicks out backwards. We're gonna do inflate. Where are you? There you are. Just want to inflate this thumb a little bit. It's I hate to say it, but I'm just like, just make it look like a thumb with no fingers. And usually you can get it to look like a thumb if you start just kind of curving it backwards and adding some volume on the padded side. See, to me, pulling it out this way and down, like on a diagonal. So if you're looking at it like this, see how it's diagonal down? And it's also facing down this way. So the pull out is very intentional, but I find that it's easier to do it that way. And then you kind of exaggerate this first knuckle, you know? If you hold up your hand right here, you can see it in the camera, just that big. Yeah. Then I'm going to curve this a little bit. Kind of digging the chill music today. Until they added the spooky. That's funny. As soon as I said something. What is that, like a slide? Like a slide whistle. I play a mean slide whistle. Man, I don't know if I can do this slide whistle. All right. Can you guys hear the music at all? It's not showing up on my... There it goes. Turned it up a little bit. Okay. Back to the hand. Let's get some fingers in there. Save it. Do the Spice Girls use slide whistles? Okay, so I'm gonna just scale it down this way, maybe this way a little bit more. What I like to do with fingers is just make it one finger. Same that I did with the thumb, just kind of curve it up at the end. And kind of push where the fingernail bed is, kind of push it down, and then give it some volume on the back side. And then give it kind of a bend, a little bit of a bend right here in the mid knuckle. And that's really all you need. If you start to make like crazy knuckles, it's going to look like Gandalf or Secret of Nim something. Like wizard hand, like old lady wizard hand. You don't want that. I see people over sculpt fingers all the time, though. Don't do it. Resist. Okay. And then every finger after this, you just want to lengthen and shorten it. You don't want to add volume. You don't want to do... You don't want to scale it up all at once. And then I like to invert that mask and give it its own face group. We'll scale that down to the same. And she looks like she's got 4 fingers. I'll give her 4 fingers. And then you want to arc them in. Inverse, Control W. We'll scale the pinky down a lot. I love it. She's got a little chubby pinky. I'll just kind of stick it there, and I like to kind of bend it down a little bit so it feels more natural. We'll take the middle finger here and just kind of bend it up so it looks a little more natural. And the ring finger, oops, I forgot to put the pinky in its own thing. So to do that, we're just going to isolate the two and do auto groups. Now they're both in the same. Okay, I should probably do a mirror and weld because auto groups does not, it doesn't work symmetrically. So I need to go mirror and weld. I need to turn local off first. Mirror and weld. And that will put the same colors on both sides, so that way when I mask one of the fingers off, it unmasks both of them. Hi, is it possible to get that ruler you're using for scale? Yeah. So, Niles, what I was just barely saying is you guys are catching me in the middle of a transition period. That sounds horrible. But I'm redoing my old website. I'm going to add my latest user interface, my brushes, and the ruler file. That's going to be available to download for free very soon. Right now, it's only over on a different website, and so I need to make it available for everybody, and that'll probably be available next week, as soon as next week. So if you go to 3dcharacterworkshop.com and just bookmark that for now, and then come back in a couple days, it should be available. And the pinky is a little too close to her other finger, so I'm going to go ahead and add a gap right there. And then just make her palm kind of match. Yeah, I'm excited about it because I just barely updated it. You can see my new user interface right here with all of my brushes and everything. This is the first time in the last, I want to say 9 years that I've added a second row to my lower bar, which has given me a lot of real estate. I got to think about what I might want to put here because my menu is really long. And I want to pull some stuff out of this menu, put some different stuff in there. And also, I have this user interface available for both 2022 and 2026. So the biggest difference is going to be this brush right here. 2026 has the new retopology brush, and that will be in place of this one in the updated new interface. Okay, I want to adjust the lengths of these fingers a little bit more. Just make them feel a little more hand-like. I do want to give her kind of stumpy fingers. So I'm going to decrease the length of these a bit. That feels better. I don't know why it was being slow all of a sudden. I better save it. Yeah, it's feeling slow. Why is it feeling slow? There it goes. It always scares me when it slows down. It's like, uh-oh, is that leading to a crash or something? Okay, so we got our hands. Ta-da! See, that didn't take long. Hey kids, what's up? Spear check, how's it going? Okay. I'm gonna give her head and then breasts so I can see the scale of things. Head, then neck. And I typically will do like build a head in 2 pieces. I'll do a cranium and then kind of a muzzle is what I like to call it, because it contains everything from like the nose down around this whole area, including the jaw, the whole jawbone. But this one is built and designed a little differently. It's kind of squished all together. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do with it. I might build it in 2 pieces because you can still see the cranium in there that's really small. And then the whole kind of muzzle is round, and it from the side it will be pushed forward still. Yeah, and then getting the neck in there, I think it's a puzzle for sure. So it's a fun puzzle, but it's a puzzle. Okay, so this is actually going to be the front, the actual muzzle. And then I'll make this her cranium, which kind of sits back. Okay, and then I'll adjust these things to kind of flow into each other. And then the neck will be here. Okay, perfect, done, ship it. Okay, I'm going to turn off topological. If you find yourself not being able to grab the shapes inside of something like this, just make sure if you're using masking out here that you're not using topological, because topological is masking as well. So it's like you're masking 2 times and ZBrush isn't going to know what to do. So just make sure that's turned off, or that you don't use masks when you're using topological. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of tuck this neck, make it go forward and have it come from the apex of her back up. Then I'm going to sweep it up to her head. Let's put it in its own. I'm going to subdivide that and just kind of smooth it down so we have a little bit more topology. I still haven't Z-remeshed anything. That's all right. I just need to make sure I have enough topology. Okay, I can just auto group these 2 guys. And it looks like I accidentally pulled this off of center. So I'm just going to do a mirror and weld, which should fix it. Maybe not. Let me see where that grid is. Okay, I'm going to bring all of her down. Using the pizza boxes, we'll just bring her on down to about here. And then kind of scale her down. Something like that. Yeah, we can unhide this ruler to see how big she is. We can even make her average female height. You love my live performances? Well, thank you. I should bow. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. I know there's a lot of other things you could be doing today, but you've chosen to spend it with me, which I really appreciate. Okay. To scale everything but the ruler, you can select the ruler and then mask it off, and then we can just scale it down. And then we have, with minus her hair, of course. Now we have her kind of, she looks like she could be, she actually looks tall in this, whoops. In this right here, this is the original reference that he referenced. Mohammed, I don't know how to say this. Mohammed? Yeah. I'm probably destroying it. I apologize if I am. Okay. Trying to say it in English does no justice. Okay, back to the head. Let's save it. Okay. So this will be the funnest shape to edit, this middle piece here, but before I do that, this music sounds like Terraria a little bit. Mirror and weld this. Okay, I'm going to turn off symmetry for a minute. I'm going to drag this to the right slightly. Do a mirror and weld, and that got rid of the issues. And it looks like the neck has an issue. Let's move that over. Okay, that's fixed. Any other issues? No. Good. It's like an electronic drip or something. It's funny. Turn the symmetry back on. And her head, the upper head where her eyes are, is about like that, I think. And I do want to add some subdivisions, or one subdivision level. Same with to this. You can hide an object, hit subdivide. It's going to subdivide it linearly, not traditionally, I guess. So you'll have to kind of go back and smooth it out. And I don't have dynamic subdivisions turned on right now. I'm just kind of blocking this out high resolution, high-ish resolution, higher than I normally go with dynamic subdivisions. It's just something I'm trying. Okay, so I might treat this differently. Just because of her shapes. Her face and everything is just so round that I might just kind of bring this up and bring this back down here. I don't know that she would have any folds back here. I feel like she would be a bit lean in the neck. And then these shapes would kind of probably tuck back into her ear. So I'm just going to do that with the detail brush and just kind of, instead of adding another piece here and then pulling her neck back up here like I would typically do, I'll just kind of push this in, not that hard. Okay, I'll just kind of try and sculpt it out. Maybe bring this up and down just so the transition is better. Because I want all this room for hair and just have this funny little cranium just kind of tucked right here. And when you can't see what's happening back here, you kind of have to make it up, right? So, and I can see how far her collar kind of goes up behind her head. So I'm going to bring this up here so then her whole collar can just kind of sit there. And then the apex of her back is about here and then rolls down there. Again, I'm just kind of trying to make it up as I go, what I think it would or could look like, that does not destroy what it looks like from the front. I'm just kind of, I could make this concave a little bit, like this, which is a fun shape, you know, because it kind of mimics what's happening on the front. I want to lower this to give room for those eyes. I might have to, I feel like this whole thing is too tall. So I'm going to take these two pieces and scale them. Yeah, that feels better, but now our cranium feels too wide. But this feels better. Okay, topological is still on. As long as you're not like using mask on mask, you know, like down here. I'm up away from the masks, so I can still use topological up here and not get into too much trouble. Okay. I've never sculpted a head shape like this before. Okay, it's a first for me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save this because I want to ZRemesh it and even all this stuff out. See, these are getting kind of elongated and these are kind of cramped, and yeah. So we're going to try and keep groups. I think actually let's do auto groups and then do a mirror and weld. Okay. And then we'll do a ZRemesher, keeping groups. I'm just going to use the default of 5,000 polys, and we'll see what it gives us. I'm going to turn smooth groups way down, not all the way down, but a lot of the way down. And that'll keep my volumes. Okay. Do I like this? I think I do. I just want to make sure it didn't destroy any of the volumes that I had made. And now I can turn on dynamic and make it smooth. Okay. Let's try her out. I think she's going to work. Okay. Now I want to get that waistband kind of, right now it's just straight. I'm going to bring it down to be round. In the front here. You guys see this okay? Even though it's like a bright white. Maybe I'll fill it with a color. Maybe just a slightly darker gray. Can you see that better? Not so blown out. Just want to smooth that out. I feel like I want to bring her waist in even more though. So we're going to hide these arms, mask off. Waist about like this. Blur it, invert, blur a bunch. Center the gizmo and then shrink it like this. How much can I get away with? Maybe this. There, I dig it. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Maybe higher. Yeah. I'm just trying to measure. What? All right, let me know if you guys have any questions. Master Chief Olson. Nice, I like it. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Kung Fu Panda is one of my favorite animated films of all time. It's really good. Jack Black does an amazing job. Okay, so let's save a second version of this. Okay, and so does Dustin Hoffman as Shifu. It's so great. Inner peace. Okay. I think I'm gonna split the head and neck off of the body, so then I can start to do some Sculptress Pro action on the head here. You just hide them, you say split hidden, and it'll just make a new. It doesn't look like it did anything unless you look over here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that just so I have a backup. This is the thing, you guys. If you're ever afraid, I use the term afraid lightly. If you're ever, or maybe, what's a different word for it? Not sure, like if you're unsure about what to do, where to move on to, or whatever. I get those questions all the time, like, when do you know when you're supposed to move on? The answer is whenever you feel ready. It's a really weird and vague answer, but it's true. It's up to you and your gut. There's not a definitive, this is when you move on. It's like, well, I need to, like right now, I'm thinking about, I need to sculpt the face, right? And I don't have enough geometry. Those two things are saying, okay, it's time to move forward to the next step. And for me, that next step is to start to add enough detail that I can add her eyes and her nose and her mouth and all that stuff in there. But this is not enough detail to do it, right? And not enough density. So I'm gonna stitch them together and use Sculptress Pro, which is just some geometry to add more subdivisions in here, more triangles, as it were, and to allow me to make all those features. So that's kind of how you know. And if you're quote unquote afraid or not confident about it, you can go ahead and duplicate it just so you always have a backup, right? So duplicate this head, hide the original, and now I have a backup. And so whatever I do moving forward, and I also saved a new file. Those are two ways you can give yourself kind of a safety net where you're like, oh, I don't dare move forward because I'll lose my old work. Well, just save your old work, even in the file or as a file. And then you shouldn't be afraid to move forward after that. Okay, so with this, I'm just gonna add one. I'm turning off dynamic, so it's like this low. I'm gonna hit Control D once, and then delete the lower. You know what? This is what I should put out on my interface is delete lower. I use all the time. This is good tips, by the way. Sculptress instead of increase the Dynamesh. I don't use Dynamesh anymore. I used to use it all the time, and I still do occasionally, but not really since Sculptress Pro came out. Sculptress Pro is dynamic topology, is what it is, meaning it puts the density where you need it, where Dynamesh will it will rebuild the entire thing, right? Instead of just where you want it. And it will also stitch stuff together, like it'll close holes and it will glue like fingers together and stuff like that. And you're also guessing what the density is going to be, like what the resolution of it is going to be. It's kind of a guess. So I tend to veer away from Dynamesh, and I like Sculptress Pro, but I use Sculptress Pro in a very specific way, so I don't accidentally get too many triangles and crash ZBrush. Sometimes ZBrush will crash anyway. There's a bug in there right now where if you're smoothing with Sculptress Pro on, it tends to crash, so I got to be careful. Okay, but first I need to stitch these parts together. So yes, I could Dynamesh at this point, and that's what I used to do. But now I use stitch, and I stitch it together. And that is located underneath the gizmo in the gear, and it's called Remesh by Union. So I'm going to click on that. And it does not rebuild my mesh. It keeps everything exactly how it was, except for it runs a stitch along the intersections with little triangles. See that? And then I'll hit accept. And now I have this. Okay, so now what I can do with this is, you know what? I'm thinking about something new, maybe. Hold on a second. I'm just thinking about, I like to use this live stream to explore some methods that I don't typically use when I'm doing production because I don't have time. You know, I'm just trying to go, and I use what I use. But here, I have the time, so I kind of tend to experiment. And what I'm thinking is, from my buddy Hector that I just did some freelance for, he showed me the power of the edge loop, and I really like it, and I want to use it more. And I'm thinking about like the eye locations and the mouth location. I'm wondering if I can edge loop those out right now and give myself something that I can Z-remesh guides around. So I'm going to try something with a mask where her mouth is going to be. Be nice, Judah. Jeez. All right. How long usually in production mode for Master Shifu finish a character? It depends. It depends on how detailed the character is. Okay, so I'm going to mask this. And I have two options right now. I can just hit Control W, which is going to give me this. Or I could go down to edge loop and click on this edge loop mask border, which is going to give me kind of a new edge loop, and it's kind of be in like this, and I can smooth it out. This is kind of weird right here. I'm gonna get rid of that little. There we go. Okay. You know what? I think I'm just going to use Sculptors Pro because I'm starting to get into the weeds and it's taking me too long. So I'm like, I could probably remesh this and subdivide it and start doing my thing. But yeah, I think I'm just going to Sculptors Pro it and then Z-remesh it later. That's what I typically do. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. But it's kind of fun. What I was going to show you with the edge loop thing is I could mask an area out, hit Control W, and then invert that mask and hit Control E, and it'll give me a edge loop. Control E is edge loop. And then I can mask that out, and it gives me this edge loop, which is pretty cool. Meh. Anyway, okay, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to go right into Sculptress. Here we go. Okay, so when I said I use it in a very unique way, what I mean is if you go up to Stroke and you go to Sculptress Pro, you have to have a brush active that is active in Sculptress, and you turn it on, you need to turn this adaptive size off. Okay, that's the key right there. Because by default, ZBrush will map the triangle size to your brush size. So if you have a little tiny brush, it's going to make little tiny triangles. If you have a big brush, it makes a big triangle. But if you turn adaptive size off, then the triangle size is in relation to your scene size instead. So you can see I'm using it at this big, no matter how big or small my brush is, it's going to give me that size triangle, okay? So I have on my interface the slider, the Sculptress Pro slider. It's under Stroke, it's right there. And then if I crank it down a little bit, and then I smooth, this is now the triangle size, no matter how big or small my brush is. See? And that way, I can kind of flood fill this whole region. I'm gonna get rid of that, those poly groups. I don't need them anymore. And I'm just going to give myself, it tries to stay symmetrical, but not perfectly, you know, and that's okay. And so now I have this, this kind of canvas that I can start to sculpt on. So I can start to kind of place my mouth in here. Funny. And then I can put her eyes in here. I just need to get everything in place so I can react to it. This is hilarious. It looks like a Muppet. Just kind of push him back into the head right there. And I usually like to keep eyes on a separate subtool. So I'm going to do split unmask points. And that puts them in their own subtool. And so now that I have her eyes in here, I can start to shape her head better. And I'll need to get her nose in there. The nose is going to be the key. And reveal those eyes a little bit on the sides. And then bring the forehead forward. Okay, I'm going to save it because this is the point that Sculptress likes to crash. So, you know, I think I might turn Sculptress off of smoothing. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to say save next. There we go. Okay, let's get her nose in there and shape it out. Got a super fun shaped nose. And it's right up to the bottom of her eyes. And see, it really looks like a, hey Carlo, this really looks like a Muppet now, huh? With the colors, with the red nose. Okay, oops. I always do that. I forget to change over to my move brush. I can just kind of drag some nostrils in. Can you guys hear that music at all? Is it annoying? Here, let's turn topological off. There we go. Okay, and then I want to use a little bit more resolution. Didn't mean to turn dynamic on. You do not want to have dynamic subdivisions on with Sculptress or Dynamesh for that matter, because it's trying to subdivide triangles and that is not the optimal use. ZBrush doesn't like it. Okay, for her lips now that we have her nose kind of in place, I'm going to mask, let's see, I want to give myself some more resolution around this area. And again, this is why I like to use Sculptress instead of Dynamesh. I'm not flood filling her whole head, just the areas that I need the density, which is here. So then I can go in with masking and just make that inner shape of her mouth, just that little space here. Invert this and then just click and drag it in. Now when I'm dragging it in with the gizmo, that is going to make stretch polygons. You can see them right there. See how they're stretched? Like that. All you have to do is come back in with smooth. Let's clear the mask off. Come back in with smooth and then just smooth it on out. And it will fix those stretch polys. I remember Muzak. Is that still a thing? I got the mic to be the DJ. Smooth jazz. this looks like a doll of some sort. Gotta be careful. Okay. I want to get her teeth in there. That's really the thing that's going to make it work. But for now, I want to use the detail brush to kind of pull things forward and inward as well. See how it adds geometry as I'm using this? Muzak. Michael Bolton. It's like yacht rock now, right? See how that pulls it forward? Just trying to get these planes to work. But her whole mouth is way too low compared to the nose now. Let me look at things a little better here. I think I gotta just make this bigger and higher. Let's see. And closer to the nose. Give her a smile. Going crazy with the base. How do you get rid of the micro holes in the mesh? Are you talking about the ones that it creates with Sculptris Pro? What I usually do is I'll just use close holes, which is here. You can find it under Tool, Geometry, Close Holes. Or you can just kind of paint over it with Sculptris, like with Smooth or something. And then, and sometimes that will fix it. But when you use close holes, just be aware that it will create a new polygroup for that new triangles or triangles that close that hole. So you got to be careful. And like probably assign a new. Here, this isn't one I want. I will usually use Control W to reassign those new triangles back into the old group. If that makes sense. I gotta concentrate while I'm sculpting and trying to instruct on this at the same time. Chin in there. This is where Smooth Stronger comes in. That's why I have it on my interface, because with Sculptris Pro Density, sometimes you find yourself needing to smooth faster, stronger, better. You can do it. Thanks, Ian. How you doing? Look at this. It kind of looks like a ghost with no hair. Like this, this head shape is just hilarious. Which is kind of why I chose to sculpt this character, because it's just funny. I think we're getting a little too tall with that head. Oh goodness. Look at that shape. I should have kept it. It's hilarious. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Judith. Like Slimer from Ghostbusters. Oh, too funny. Doing all right. Just had to pay a bunch to fix car issues. Boo. More car issues showed up on a different car or the same car? Sure thing. Okay, her cheeks are like, I want to flatten it out here, but super puffy here, but forward puffy. Yeah, look at this S shape. That's fun. Okay. I think I need to get her teeth in there. Do a save next on this. Same car, we only have one. Totally separate system, gave an engine light. Really? Oh, I'm sorry. That's all you need, right? Grr. New car sales are down. People are just fixing the cars they have already. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I do. All right. Split unmasked points. Looks like, what's that comedian? Oh my gosh, had red hair. He had a big gap in his front teeth. The heck is his name? He's passed away. I'm trying to remember what his name was. Coolant system, so I need to get it checked soon. Ah. Not Carrot Top, no. He's heavy comedian. He had a special for a while, like a cartoon. Trying to remember his name. I saw him perform live in Arizona a long time ago. Look at those teeth. Louis Anderson. Neil, you got it. You're the winner. Yeah, Louis. Yeah, that guy was hilarious. Okay, we're going to go a little wider. Same with the eyeballs, a little wider. Kind of looks like Louis Anderson a little bit. The cartoon was Life with Louie. That's right. Thanks, Blair. That's right. That guy was funny. Oh. What's interesting about a pinch brush is that you can kind of sculpt with it, meaning you can, since it kind of gathers, that's why it's named gather, since it gathers geometry together, you can kind of move geometry with it and gather geometry towards it. Like that. pull the brows up. She's got kind of this surprised but smiling look on her face. And then some eyelids going on. But before I do that, I want to kind of wrangle these cheeks a little bit more. Closer to that shape. Blow it from the side. Okay. I'm going to give her some little ears back here. Oh my gosh. Posable symmetry is my new favorite thing. So I'll just have to say that, and I'll just say it right now, even if Maxon's watching. Sometimes they do. Posable symmetry used to not work very well. I'll just say it. But recently Hector has said, have you tried posable symmetry recently? It works really well. So I gave it a go, and he is right. It works really well. So posable symmetry means that you can pose a character, move its head, turn it, put its arms in different positions, whatever. And the rule is, as long as it's one solid mesh, like a body, and it doesn't have separate meshes included, like eyes, brows, that kind of stuff. As long as it's one mesh, and that mesh is symmetrical. I'm not saying it has to be on the center of the world symmetrical. I'm just talking about it's the same on both sides, same geometry, same point count, same face count. As long as it's the same, you can turn on posable symmetry and it will find the symmetry across that center like loop, and then it'll give you symmetry no matter how your character is posed. I used that a ton on those goblins, a ton. Yeah, it came in, like Ian said, came in clutch. It was great. Okay, I think I need to... There we go, that's better. See, with Sculptress, you can also reduce geometry in areas that maybe you accidentally increased. Do I have to turn on the posable symmetry button before breaking symmetry? No, no. As long as it's the same, it can still be posed, and it will find it. It's a magical, mystical thing. I don't know. It's not working on my hair meshes for some reason. It just says 0%. So, okay, think of the rule. Is your hair perfectly symmetrical, and is it a single object? Those are the two questions. If it's multiple objects, it's not going to work. So if you have like tons of strands of hair, if you have one strand of hair and that strand is symmetrical, then there's a good chance it'll work. It might not, but you can say delete symmetry and then click on use posable symmetry again to see if it finds it. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't, but it has to be one object, just one. That's a rule. Yeah, you cannot have multiple objects in there. It'll just go, what do you want? Can you explain again how to up and down the geometry with Sculptress? Sure. Yeah, two separate spheres will not work. Yeah. So, Ian, try this though. If you create a bridge between them, it will work. Like a bridge across the center line, then it'll work. Hey, what's up, Sammy? How are you? It's a little bit off sometimes. Yeah, especially if you've been... Like if you turn symmetry on and off, like when you're doing asymmetrical posing in the face, and then you turn symmetry back on, sometimes if you delete it and then bring it back, it will refix itself. But yeah, it works pretty good though. Cool, and let me know. Okay, Sculptress. So where you find it is you go into Stroke. Well, you have to have a brush that will use Sculptress Pro. Go into Stroke, and it's right here, Subdivide Size. That slider is what increases or decreases your density of your triangles, okay? I've drug that out onto my user interface right here. And that's what I'm sliding back and forth to make it increase and decrease the triangles. So hopefully that helps. Okay, let's see, where are we at here? And once again, thank you guys for watching me, hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I should have some new stuff going on next week. That I want to announce and get going. The reason I pulled this in is because I want to give her ears. Because she's got these big, huge hoop earrings. But I want her ears to be kind of tucked back behind those cheeks. Because you can't really see. You can kind of see her ears. They're tucked right on the sides right there. Oh, let me turn on local. There we go. Sure thing, it's a lot of fun. I love Sculptress Pro. Ever since I figured out how to turn off that adaptive, it's like I haven't looked back. It's my thing. The bridge didn't work. Okay, did you add the bridge after it was posed or before? And is the bridge exactly the same topology on both sides? You can't just kind of connect. There kind of has to be a center edge loop for it to find. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be, and then like a mirror and weld will give you that center edge loop. Mirror and weld will make it so, yeah, after it's kind of, you're playing with fire, I think. Like it would be hard pressed to make it work. But I think you have to give it a center edge loop to follow. She's already posed. Yeah. So I don't know if you'll be able to do it. But the key, I mean it's posable symmetry. So the key is it has to be perfectly symmetrical, like perfectly symmetrical as far as the geometry count goes, right? Because it's spider webbing across trying to figure out mathematically what's symmetrical. It doesn't look at it spatially, you know, because it looks at it by the surface mesh, not by the space. So that's why it has to be a perfectly mirrored mesh symmetrically, if that makes sense. Like if you made a bridge and you made more points on one side than the other side without the line in the middle, then it's not going to work. That's the girl from TikTok. I don't know what girl from TikTok. I don't watch TikTok too much. It's this girl right here. Is she from TikTok? That's the reference. The concept artist is Mahmoud Art. I don't know how you say that. Probably destroying his name. Okay. Move the ears up a little bit. These ears are funny. I'll give her some big old hoop earrings here in a little bit. Whoops, I didn't mean to get rid of my interface. There we go. And her ears are kind of square. I want to make them square. Okay. Okay. There you go. Muhammad art. I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly. Okay. Bring this out a little bit more. Bring this in a little bit more. Okay. Let's give her some eyelids. So I'll basically just duplicate these. And let me just clip them. Okay. Then we can roll them back. Something like that. And roll them kind of down. And then shape them like a curve. Kind of pull them out a little bit. Pull them way down in the front here. And then give them some height into her head. Get back here, you. And then just kind of give her some eye sockets by digging in to her head a little bit. That sounds horrible. There we go. Making me laugh. That's how you know it's good. Yeah, I did save it pretty recently, Neil, but yes, I should. She's got white ears. Light ears. Look at that. It's like a squirrel. Okay, let's see. I can just hit save. Save. I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter. All right. Just don't want you to have another Sculptus crash. Yeah, no kidding. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, here's what she's looking like. I think once I get that collar in there, I think it'll look good. And then her hair. Her hair is going to be the thing. And then I think her head might be a little too small, but I'm not sure until I get the hair and the collar working. All right, time for a little coffee sip. So how's everybody doing on this fine day? You guys working on anything fun? I like to think that everybody's sculpting along with me on their own stuff. Is that true? Just updated my, or corrupted my UE project. Oh, yeesh. That's no fun. Hopefully you can recover it. Does it have any like auto saves or anything like that? Turn this down to nothing. I'll have to discuss opposable symmetry later. This mesh is definitely symmetrical. It won't let me do posable either. Yeah, it's honestly, it's better. It's already posed, so it's, I don't know if it's going to work, but maybe. It'd be a fun experiment for sure. But it might be too late. Sammy playing games. What game are you playing, Sammy? I'm excited to play some D&D with my friends tonight. Some of my friends from the old studio, Avalanche. It's always good to catch up with those guys. Kenshi. Nice. I just watched Polygon activate after he tilted the character's head. Right, but he didn't bridge it, right? He already had it, like, built. Yeah, I want to play with it to see what other rules there might be, I guess. You're on a different mesh now, so one that's connected? Love it with no nose on there. Oh, no bridge needed, only one mesh. Yeah, that should have a way better chance of making it work. I'm making... Hey, what's up, Tolk fan? How are you? It's been a while. I'm making Steph from Fallout TV, though I'd be finishing her today, then decided to completely redo all the hair. So I'm not finishing today. Yeah, hair takes a while. It depends on how detailed it is, but yeah, it can take a while. It's just a simple polysphere. All right. So, okay, here we go. Does it have poles or is it a quad sphere? You said polysphere, so I assume it does not have poles. Okay, I gotta try this. We're gonna take this ruler, we're gonna append just a star for now. Go to the star. Let's solo this. Go to this these brushes and then click on this to replace the star with a sphere. Who's using what? I really like the way you use Sculptris Pro for mesh density. I never liked how Dynamesh gets really high and fast. Yeah, looking forward to try it later. Green poly group with all the other pieces hidden makes it look like Slimer from Ghostbusters. Is the Nightbot? No. Oh. Burio Dev, I guess you can't say the A word. It's such a naughty word, but that's awesome. So you just saved your UE file? That's great. But I guess say arse or something else. Nightbot no likey. There you go. Save my butt. Because there's all these kids watching. What's a bridge? Okay, let's get back to this. But that's awesome. Congrats, Furio. That's great. Yep, use version control. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Version control. Or if you're using ZBrush, use quick save all the time. It will save your butt. It has saved me so many times. And you just find it in preferences, quick save. Right there, quick save. So mine is set to, it should be at 15 minutes, but it's set to 20 at the moment. And then you can set your max save files and all that stuff. So quick save, set it up, use it. Even though I know it's annoying, but it will save you from crying later. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on posable symmetry. Activate symmetry. It has symmetry on. I'm just gonna turn it on right now. Okay, so it's working now. If I rotate this off, say over here. Let's see. What is this? Mirror symmetry, X. Use posable symmetry. You know, it might be that it can't figure out the poles of a sphere. Like, I think what it's doing, because this is not only mirrored, but it's quadro-mirrored. Like, it has 4 poles. So it can be mirrored 4 different times, and I think ZBrush is going, I don't understand where the center is. You have to have a definite center. So I guess there's more than one rule, right? Okay, so let's try something here. Turning off Sculptress. Yeah, I would think it would hate spheres because it's got, I mean, if you think about it, it actually has 8 poles, right? And so, okay, let's just go ahead and pull something off here like this. And then Z-remesh it. Let's do half. Just so it's not a sphere, and so it kind of has this symmetrical shape thing, but it's mirrored in the middle, right? Okay, so now, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so now if I use posable symmetry, okay, it works. And then if I rotate it, it works. Yeah, brother, I think it's spheres. Yeah. It's breaking its brain. Yep. So you gotta have a symmetrical mesh that's not a sphere. Because you have to think about it. It's trying to map it by mesh, right? So if you have like 2 poles on either side that match, and then up and down match, and then back and forth match, it's gonna go like, I don't know what you just did. I don't know which pole to follow. But here it's like, you totally can. So what this is going to give you though, if I turn off symmetry, and I'm going to use like the snake hook brush and go crazy with it, and I'll pull this clear up and out over here like this, and pull this one down like this, and then do activate symmetry and use posable symmetry. Look at this. It still tries its hardest to match. See? It's pretty nice. It gets dizzy going around. It does. It's like, what? Do you have to hit posable symmetry before moving it? Not necessarily. I think you just have to use posable symmetry when you're going to use posable symmetry. And see how it's grayed out now? That's kind of... And if it's not working, you can also... It's under transform. You can delete posable symmetry like this, and then turn it back on again. And it will look at it again and try to make it better, right? And that's how you can use it with meshes that you've never used posable symmetry on before. So the first time that I used it, well, not the first time, but recently when I used it, it was on a body, like a full, like arms, legs, fingernails sewn in, everything, base mesh body. It didn't have any separate parts, so there weren't like teeth or eyeballs or anything like that. It was just the body itself. And I was able to like merge the eyeballs to the body, and then pose it like regular posing, and then split those eyeballs back off into another sub tool, and then run posable symmetry again, and it still found the symmetry on that body. Does that make sense? I get it. Posable symmetry works on the mesh, not the shape. Is it? Yeah, it doesn't work on world space. Okay. It's not putting two like spheres, like invisible spheres on either side of the center line of the world, right? That's regular symmetry. It's doing posable symmetry, which is like crawling down the surface of the mesh, trying to look at both sides and see what's symmetrical. It understands the same amounts of polygons, correct? Yes. And that's it. That's where it ends. And it has to be connected in the middle. It can't be two separate shapes, because then it won't be able to crawl. Right? What is this music? It's like 70s Sears shopping music. Welcome to Sears. Sure thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the Retopo tools. I'm just gonna draw some eyelashes. Okay. Boom eyelashes. And we'll split these off. Uncrease all, turn on dynamic subdivisions. Okay, and let's edit these with the Z modeler. Posable symmetry worked on her body. That's so good. Nice, nice. When it works, it's amazing. It's magic. Okay, extrude a poly. That's what I want to do. How did you know? Okay, we'll go in threes here. Wish I had tried that before I did a bunch of work on just one hand. Right? That's the thing. It's now that you know about it, it's like it kind of changes your whole outlook on your workflow. Right? At least it did mine. So now I'm going to be planning to use posable symmetry in the future after I've posed it. And I think about it as I'm working. So then, yeah, then I can use it later. It's kind of a game changer. Okay, I do want these to curl, so I need to add in some edge loops. There, right there, right there. And then we'll do a little shift to the side. Get them to curl. And this one a bit longer and this one a bit shorter. Let's make them dark gray. There we go. Yeah, posable symmetry is really, really great for expressions, like facial expressions, because then you can kind of tweak a grin or something like that. And you can pose it asymmetrically and then turn on posable symmetry and keep going with it, even though it's asymmetrical, which is great. This just cracking me up. I love stuff that just has really fun shapes, really well designed, and then trying to match that energy and those shapes is just, that's where the challenge is, you know? And when you hit it, or at least you're getting close, it starts to make you laugh. It's like when you're doing a caricature of a character and you start to find that person, it'll start to make you giggle because it's working, you know? And it's so satisfying. I talk about that a lot in my courses. I think I want to go even more density here. Let's save it. I'm gonna go as low as you can go. I just want to give myself a little enough density I can make a little shelf underneath her eyes. She's looking so muppety. Because then you can run the detail brush along here and just kind of pull it forward, up and forward, and give it just a little shelf that catches the light. And I'm pulling it like towards me. And that just kind of gives it a place to rest. You know, it puts the eyeballs in there. Thanks for working that out with me. Gonna head out for now. See you later. All right, Ian, take care, man. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad you got it working. All right, I'm pretty happy with this progress so far, I think. But I want to kind of squish this up a little bit more, make her a little cuter and rounder, and then take the whole head and kind of push it down into her body just a bit. No. Oops. I don't want to grab her body. There we go. That's what I want. I'm just gonna go zip. Like remove all this extra stuff down inside her body. It's fine. Doesn't matter. There we go. And I'll probably need to squish her upper body down too. It's a little tall. That's a little too far forward. Okay. And then I want to make her head larger as well. So I can put this right where her neck comes out of her body, right here. We can just increase that a little bit and then bring it down. There we go. That is feeling better. Okay. Now let's select this and push it into her body more. Sculptor's Pro geometry is really funny because you can see the different density levels, you know, where I've painted it on to give me that detail. So later on, what I'll do is, just to keep it clean, is I will run a Z-remesher over it. Well, I'll duplicate it first, and then run a Z-remesher over it, subdivide it, and then project those details back onto the newly subdivided mesh, which will give me even topology, which will make it be cleaner. All right, kind of want her mouth to be a little narrower. Love it. I'm just looking at the silhouette, making sure it's round from all sides, not just the front. It's got to see this. There's a little bit of surface indifference in here. And if I do the Z-mesh subdivide thing, that'll go away. That's how you get clean meshes. Okay. Kind of want to pull this up and just make her cranium just tiny. Maybe just transition that whole thing just right straight back into her back. I think once I get the hair in there, it'll make a big difference as far as like, yeah, because it's kind of pulled up, and it's going to have those little tiny hairs back on her neck, you know, and so I might end up scooping it back into her neck just to make way for those little hairs and stuff. And then when I get those big hoop earrings on, that might change things a little bit. So anyway, that's it for today, you guys. I think we made some pretty good progress. I still need to get her breasts in there and the big collar in there and start to kind of block out that suit. So next week we'll start here and we'll add those things and get her hair in there. That'll be fun. I have a curly hair brush that we'll use to get some of that hair going. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. And just know that I'm right in the middle of something new and fresh, and reworking my website and stuff like that. So I'll probably share that with you all next week. And I'm going to share my new user interface, which has all these brushes reorganized down here. And we have posable symmetry and the /2 brush and things like that on my user interface. So anyway, excited for that. And I'll share all of that with you guys. So again, thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate it. And happy sculpting. Take care, everybody. Have a good week. We'll see ya.